Okay, so good morning, everyone. Our topic for today is about project quality management. Okay, so after this topic or lesson, we will be able to understand the importance of project quality management for information technology products and services. We can define project quality management and understand how quality relates to various aspects of information technology projects. Describe quality planning in its relationship to project scope management. Discuss the importance of quality assurance. Explain the main outputs of the quality control process. Understand the tools and techniques for quality control such as Pareto analysis, statistical sampling, Six Sigma, quality control charts, and testing. Summarize the contribution of the noteworthy quality expert to modern quality management. We can describe how leadership, the cost quality, organizational influences, expectations, cultural differences, and maturity models relate to improving quality in IT projects. And we can discuss on how software can assist the project quality management. Okay, so most people have heard jokes about what cars would be like if they follow a development history similar to that computers. A well-known joke that has been traveling around the internet as follows, no? At a recent computer exposition, Bill Gates, the founder and CEO of Microsoft, stated, if General Motors had kept up with technology like computer industry has, we would all be driving 25 US dollar cars that got 1,000 miles to the gallon. So, for no reason whatsoever, your car would crash twice a day. Okay? Now, the most people simply accept poor quality from many information technology products. So, what if your computer crashes a couple times a month? Just make sure you back up your data. So what if you cannot log in to the corporate intranet or the internet right now? So just try a little later when it is less busy. So what if the latest version of your word processing software was shipped with several known bugs? So you like the software new features and all new software has bugs. Is quality a real problem with information technology project? And of course, yes, it is, no? Because information technology is not just luxury available in some homes, uh, schools, or offices. Many companies throughout the world provide all employees with access to the computers. The majority of people in the US use the internet, and usage in other countries continues to grow rapidly, especially here in our country. It took only 5 years for 50 million people to use the internet compared to 25 years for 50 million people to use telephones. And many aspects of our daily lives depend on high quality IT products. Project quality management is difficult knowledge area to define. The ISO, or International Organization for Standardization, define quality as the totality of characteristic of an entity that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs, or the degree to which a set inherent characteristic fulfills requirements. Many people spend many hours coming up with this definition, yet they are still very vague. No? Other concepts define quality based on conformance to requirements and fitness for use. The Conformance to requirement means the project processes and product meets written specification. So fitness for use means a product can be used as it was intended. If these computers were delivered without monitor or keyboards and were left in boxes on the customer's shipping dock, the customer might not be satisfied because the computers would not be fit for use. The customer may have assumed that the delivery included monitors and keyboards, unpacking the computers and installation so they would be ready to use. The purpose of project management or project quality management is to ensure that the project will satisfy the needs for which it was undertaken. We can recall that project management involves meeting or exceeding stakeholder needs and expectation. The project team must develop good relationship with key stakeholders, especially the main customers for the project, to understand what quality means to them. After all, the customers ultimately decides if quality is acceptable. Okay. So PQM includes all the activities of all overall management functions that determine the quality policy, objective, and responsibility and implement them with the quality system. Okay, now, so project quality management involved three main processes. Okay, and that is number one is quality planning. It includes identifying which quality standards are relevant to the project and how to satisfy those standards. Incorporating quality standards into project design is a key part of quality planning. So for an information technology project, quality standard might include allowing for system growth, planning a reasonable response time for a system, or ensuring that the system product or produces consistent and accurate information. Quality standards can also apply to information technology service or services. So the main outputs of quality planning are a quality management plan, quality matrix, quality checklist, a process improvement plan, a quality baseline, and updates to the project management plan. A metric is a standard measurement. So examples of common metrics include failure rates of products produced, availability of goods and services, and customer satisfaction ratings. Yes, okay, satisfaction ratings. So how about number two is quality assurance. Quality assurance involves periodically evaluating overall project performance to ensure that the project will satisfy the relevant quality standards. The QA process involves taking responsibility for quality throughput the project's life cycle. Top management must take the lead in emphasizing the roles all employees play in quality assurance, especially the senior manager's roles. The main output of this project or process are requested changes, okay? Recommended corrective actions and updates to organization process, assets, and project management plan. Number three is the quality control. It involves monitoring specific project results to ensure that they comply with the relevant quality standards while identifying ways to improve overall quality. This process is often associated with the technical tools and techniques of quality management such as Pareto charts, quality control charts, and statistical sampling. So what is quality planning? Quality planning is identifying which quality standards are relevant to the project and determining how to satisfy them. The current trust in modern quality management is the prevention of defects through a program of selecting the proper materials, training, and indoctrinating people in quality and planning, a process that ensure the appropriate outcome. In project quality planning, it is described or it is important to identify relevant quality standards such as ISO standards. So quality assurance is an evaluating of the overall project performance on a regular basis to provide a confidence that the project will satisfy the relevant quality standard. So as I mentioned earlier, we later on we have an ISO accreditation in Quezon City campus. So that accreditation is regularly conducted in Quezon City campus for ISO standard. No? Previously, the school is within the hospital, no, for ISO standard. But by this time, the World City Colleges Quezon City separate, no, focus on the ISO 9001 for education. How about the quality control? So, many people only think of quality control when they think of quality management, and perhaps it is because there are many popular tools and techniques in this area. So before describing some of these tools and techniques, it is important to distinguish quality control from quality planning and quality assurance. By the way, before we may proceed to quality control, I just want to reiterate once again about the quality assurance. No? In quality assurance, we have a design of experiments. It is a quality planning technique that helps identify which variables have the most influence on the overall outcomes of a process. Understanding which variable affect outcome is a very important part of a quality planning. Another thing, even if the development of hardware, software, and networking technology would stand still for a while, it is often difficult for customers to explain exactly what they want in an information technology project. Important scope aspect of IT projects that affect quality include functionality and features, system outputs, performance, and reliability and maintainability. So, of course, when it comes to functionality, this will be the degree to which a system performs its intended function. For example, for a features, no, are the system special characteristics that appeal to users. It is important to clarify what functions and features the system must perform and what function and features are optional. The system outputs are the screens and reports the system generates. It is important to define clearly what the screens and report look like for a system. Performance, okay? Performance addresses how well a product or services performs the customer's intended use. So to design a system with high quality performance, project stakeholders must address many issues. What volumes of data and transactions should the system be capable of handling? How many simultaneous users should system be assigned to handle? What is the projected growth rate in number of the users? And what type of equipment must the system run on? How fast must the response time be for different aspects of the system under different circumstances? Then, another part of the quality assurance is the reliability. It is the ability of the product or service to perform as expected under normal condition. Okay? Then the maintainability addresses the ease of performing maintenance on a product. And most IT products cannot reach 100% reliability, but stakeholder must define what their expectations are. So this aspect of project scope are just a few of the requirement issue related to quality planning. Project managers and their teams need to consider all of these project scope issues in determining quality goals for the project. The main customers for the project must also realize the role in defining the most critical quality needs for the project and constantly communicate these needs and expectation to the project teams. Project managers, however, are ultimately responsible for quality management on their projects. Okay. So, quality control is the monitoring of a specific project result to determining if they comply with the relevant quality standards and identify ways to eliminate causes of unsatisfactory performance. Although one of the main goal of quality control is to improve quality, the main outcome of this process are acceptable or acceptance decision, rework, and process adjustment. The acceptance decision determine if the products or services produced as part of the project will be accepted or rejected. If they are accepted, they are considered to be validated deliverables. If project stakeholder rejects some of the products or services produced as part of the project, there must be a rework. When we say rework, no, it is an action taken to bring rejected items into compliance with product requirements or specification or other stakeholder expectation. Rework often result in requested changes and validated defect repair resulting from recommended defect repair or corrective preventive action. Rework can be very expensive. So the project manager must strive to do a good job of quality planning and quality assurance to avoid this need. That's why as per my experience, no, during my master's thesis, no, even in my doctorate thesis, even that is already a final defense, no, I could encounter some revisions, no. There are certain panel, no, asking for an update or an enhancement for a specific module. It's just because the panels are looking forward to satisfy the quality management and of course for them to identify ways on how to eliminate causes of unsatisfactory performance. Maybe the panelists or the panels start looking forward for some enhancement of these specific modules. So right after my defense, of course, there is some process adjustment, no? Correct or prevent further quality problem based on quality control measurement. Process adjustment are often found by using quality control measurement and they often result in updates to the quality baseline, organization process asset, and the project management plan. So as what we have here, we have the project quality management. So a while ago, we have already discussed the quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. So for planning, we have the inputs. We have an inputs for assurance and control. We have defined also the tools and techniques, no, and outputs based on the quality planning, quality assurance, and quality control. So for example, if you are going to develop a software or even a project, no, specifically during your capstone times, you are always ask yourself, no? Do we comply with the quality planning? Do our project have a quality assurance? Do our project have a quality control? In what sense, no? For example, for quality assurance, what is specific, uh, for example, for security, no? So what will you do with your system when it comes to security? What will you do when it comes to validations and so on? When it comes to quality control, so how about what ISO specific applications na did you test with your capstone project? Okay? So therefore you need to, as what we have here, no, as you can see here, no, for quality control, we have quality improvement, acceptance decision, and most commonly we encountered rework, no, completed checklist and some process adjustment. The PQM or Project Quality Management Approach Compatibility. So for quality management, it is compatible with ISO 9000 and 1000 series of standard guidelines. So nature of PQM, project quality management must address both the management of the project and the product of the project. Failure to meet quality requirements in either dimension can have serious and negative consequences for any or all of the project stakeholders. Sometimes, no, uh, during our time, for example, in our capstone 1, the panels, no, identify already the modules or the content of our capstone or our software. But there are certain cases that we will not able to meet, no, the quality requirements. So what will happen? So it can have a serious negative consequences for any or all of the project stakeholders, because in this case there is some possibility that the panels, no, ask you to add additional module or some enhancement. And there are certain cases that if we are going to change, for example, this module, there are some sub-modules, no, connected to this module. So there are some changes. And most commonly, we revise the entire, no, software. And that is not a sole responsibility of the panel, no, to identify all during your defense, because you are the one who created your software. So therefore, you are the one who is responsible to identify all. The most common problem, the student who presented research, for example, during my last 2 weeks ago, I am one of the panels, no, in a master's in IT program in Laguna. And the student, no, failed, no, to deliver his capstone project because upon identifying all the required module for this specific capstone project was not delivered. So this will be some problem that we may encounter, or this will be the negative consequences. Meeting the customer requirements by overworking the project team may lead to negative consequence in employee turnover. Meeting project schedules by rushing planned quality inspection may produce negative consequence when errors go undetected. Yes, because if we identify, no, the errors or detected an errors or problem during the final stage, no, so therefore it's too hard for us to meet, no, the stakeholder requirements. So what we're going to do is to rush, no, the said enhancement or additional module. So what are the common understanding? Quality management should complement modern project management as they both recognize the importance of customer satisfaction. During that time, during the defense time actually, no, the customer satisfaction during that time is the panel, no, who are trying to understand on how your proposal helps, no, the targeted users. We need also to consider the prevention over inspection, management responsibility, and process within phases. That's why we need always to observe this. Plan, do, check as an act cycle. An act. Okay? This will be a cycle, no? You always try to check to you always consider to monitor the process by plan, do, check, and act. So quality planning in detail. So as I mentioned earlier, no, prior to the development of ISO 9000 series, quality planning concepts were widely discussed as part of quality assurance. This will be the quality planning flowchart. So I think you are familiar with in designing your conceptual framework, no? It is very important for you to understand this quality planning flowchart. So what will be the inputs? What will be the tools and techniques and the outputs? So most commonly, no, in tools and techniques for quality, no, we could say the cause and effect diagrams, the control charts, run chart, scatter diagram, of course, the Pareto charts, the flow charts, and others. The quality policy. The overall intention and direction of an organization with regard to quality as formally expressed by the top management. Of course, because there are certain cases now that even the panels no approve everything, but there are certain cases that the program head or dean are asking more, no, uh, because there are certain times that the student arguing with the deans that it's still okay, it's still approved, it's already approved with the panel. But of course, again, we have the quality policy. No? The management team is responsible for dissipating the quality policy to all project stakeholders to appropriate information distribution channel. Okay? The scope statement, key input to quality planning because it documents major project deliverables as well as project objectives. So in our capstone or our capstone project, we need to define the scope statement. The product description. So during the specification of our scope, we see to it that we could able to give the description of our output or our system or our software. Then, of course, majority of us no using ISO 9126, right? For the project, for the standards and regulations. Then the other process outputs. For example, procurement planning outputs may identify contractor quality requirements that should be reflected in the overall quality management plan. So it is also important for us to define uh, what specific hardware or software needed for your output or for your project. Then when it comes to tools and techniques for quality planning, the process must consider benefit, cost, trade-offs. It is elementary that the benefit should outweigh the cost. Of course, we have benchmarking, right? Involves comparing actual or planned project practices to those of other projects to generate ideas for improvement and for measure of performance. So I think you're familiar with the flow charting. Actually, the as what we defined before, no, during our first year time, no, period, that flowchart are graphical display of the logic in flow of processes that help you analyze how problems occur and how processes can be improved. These show activities, decision points, and the order on how the information is processed. Okay? Design of experiment. It is applicable to the products of a project issues, of the project issues. No? Uh, it is a technique can also be used in project management issues such as cost and schedule trade-offs to allow for optimal solutions. For the QMP, the quality management plan should describe how a project management team will implement its quality policy, also called quality system in ISO terminology. So the organizational structure must be considered, especially if we are using a, for example, the most common organizational structure, roles and responsibility of the persons assigned per host, no? Resources needed for implementation of quality management. The quality plan should address the quality control of the project, assurance, and improvement of the project. We need to take note that the project quality plan can highly detailed or broadly frame based on the needs of a project. How about the outputs for quality planning? So, the project management team must indicate the start and end of every activity in a detailed schedule. So, we need to identify for week 1 that is actually available in our Gantt chart. No? The start and end of every activity in detailed schedule, of course, which also defined in our work breakdown structure. Excuse. So what we're going to do is to use checklist. Na? So for example, for day 1, what module, what specific task were done with this week and so on. Uh, of course, inputs to other processes may identify need for further activity in another area. For quality assurance, most commonly, no, especially in a medium or large industry or company or school, they have a quality assurance department. So, quality assurance can be internal and quality assurance can be external. In our case, no, in World City, no, we have an external quality assurance. We have an internal quality assurance at the same time. Okay. So, quality assurance flow chart. Same, we need to have an inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. So the inputs, quality management plan, result of quality control measurement, operational definitions. And our output is the quality improvement. So based on the given inputs, quality control measure which are record of quality control testing and measurement in a format of comparison or analysis. What will be the tools and techniques for quality assurance? We have the quality planning tools and techniques. We have the quality audits, and they may be timely or carried out randomly. Diba? For verification purposes, sometimes no, we have a quality assurance not daily but sometimes randomly. Okay? The quality improvement includes taking action to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of the project to be provide added benefits to the stakeholder of the projects. For the quality control, again, quality controls includes many general tools and techniques. So as what we discussed earlier, we have the 7 basic tools of quality. We have the statistical sampling, Six Sigma, and others. So the quality control is often performed by quality control department, of course. So the project management should be aware of the following among other subjects. No, they need to keeping errors out of the process, that is prevention. Keeping errors out of the customer's hand, that is inspection. Attribute sampling for conformity of results, where the results are rated on the continuous scale that measures the degree of conformity and non-conformity, that is variable sampling. Unusual events, that is a special cause. Random causes, normal process variation. We have tolerances and control limits. So for quality control flow chart, we have also work result, quality management plan, operational definition, and the checklist. And the output, quality improvement, acceptance decision, rework, and process adjustment. So don't forget, no? Every time we deliver our system or software, there are certain possibility that we can have a rework because we are eyeing for a quality outputs. Okay, so work result including both product result and process results. So for inspection, it can be carried out on the level of the single activity or a final product. So it started from the single activity. No? Of course, inspection can be called reviews, product reviews, audits, and walkthroughs. That's why prior to your defense, better for you to have to seek an advice to your advisors or to your professors. No? For you to be aware on what are the possible questions, or maybe there are certain things that you need to add with your proposal or with your system itself. So control charts may be used or monitor any type of output variable. Now, how about the Pareto diagram? A Pareto diagrams is a histogram ordered, no, that can help you identify and prioritize problem areas. The variable described by the histogram are ordered by frequency of occurrence. Pareto charts help you identify the vital few contributors that an account for most quality problems in a system. And of course, the Pareto analysis is sometimes referred to as the 80-20 rule, meaning that 80% of problems are often due to 20% of the causes. Okay? The statistical sampling. So it involves choosing a part of population of interest for inspection. Okay, so that's why in your capstone project you have chapter 3, no? The statistical sampling. So sometimes I will be able to come up with our statistical sampling. We need to consider if our proposal, of course, is a parametric or non-parametric for testing. No? We identify our participants of the study depending, of course, if it is random sampling and others. No? Flowcharting is used in a quality control to help analyze how a problem occurs. Then we need to consider the trend analysis. No? It involves the use of mathematical techniques for forecast future outcomes based on historical results. It is often used to monitor. We have a technical performance and cost and schedule performance. How about the outputs for quality control? So acceptance decision and again, rework, no? Which is an action taken to bring defects or non-conforming items into compliance with requirements and specification. Okay, so it is always advisable to all students who depending their proposal to have a documenter, no? A documentation person, no? Because he or she is the one who is responsible to write down all non-conforming items into for you to comply with the requirements and specification. Again, rework is frequent cause of project overruns and the project management team must make an effort to minimize it. So as early as possible, prior to your final defense, you need to look into it, no? Do an effort to minimize it prior to your final defense. That's why you have a leader, no? You have a professor, no, to check the possible errors and to minimize the said error. So what you're going to do, you need to use a completed checklist and after that, process adjustment. Immediate, corrective, or preventive action as a result of quality control measurement. But most common problem, no, the student focus on their capstone project 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days before the defense. So how will be able to make a process adjustment, no? How will be able to prevent, no, a problem and so on. Now, before I may give a conclusion, um, statistical sampling earlier, no? I will go into the statistical treatment again. Statistical sampling is a key concept in project quality management because member of a group, no, who focus on quality control must have a strong understanding of statistics. But other project team members need to understand only the basic concept because this concept includes statistical sampling, certainty factor, standard deviation, and variability. Standard deviation and variability are fundamental concepts for understanding quality control charts because statistical sampling involves choosing part of a population of interest for inspection. Okay? And we have also what we call Six Sigma. No? The work of many project quality experts contributed to the development of today's Six Sigma principles. There has been some conclusion or confusion in the past few years about the term Six Sigma. Okay? The Six Sigma way is a comprehensive and flexible system for achieving, sustaining, and maximizing business success. Six Sigma is uniquely driven by close understanding of customer needs, discipline use facts, data and statistical analysis, and diligent attention to managing, improving, and reinventing business project. Actually, we have a very detailed, no, discussion about Six Sigma. Several of the phases, no, include specific work related to testing. So maybe you're familiar with testing, no? A unit testing done to test each individual components. Integration testing occurs between unit and system testing to test functionality group components and ensure a subset of entire system works together. We have also system testing, no? Test the entire system as one entity. And of course, the most commonly for software development, the user's acceptance testing. We have also what we call, no, when it comes to software, no, We have the modern quality management. We have Deming and his 14 points of management. No, we have Joran and importance of top management commitment to quality. We have Krobi and striving for zero defects. We have Ishikawa's guide to quality control. We have Taguchi and robust design method. We have also Pigenbaum and workers' responsibility for quality. Of course, at present in the Philippines, we have the Philippine Quality Framework, that is Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, the ISO standards, no, and others. We need also to consider the improving information technology project quality. So the cost of quality, the prevention cost, appraisal, internal failure, cost, no, external failure, measurement and test equipment cost. Again, a while ago, I mentioned already the conformance and non-conformance cost. No? Then, organizational influences, workplace factors, and quality. We have also expectation and cultural differences in quality. No? It depends upon to our country. We have a maturity models, of course, the software quality function deployment model or the SQFD model. We have also maturity model integration or the CMMI. The capability levels of CMMI, of course, is the incomplete, perform, manage, define, quantitative manage, and optimizing. So, many new headlines regarding the poor quality of information technology projects demonstrate the quality is a serious issue. No? Several mission-critical information technology systems had caused deaths and quality problems in many business systems have resulted in major financial losses. That's why, as I mentioned last time, no, uh, one group, no, in Capstone Project pay, I don't know how much, no, but it's just around 25 to 50,000. But due to some quality problems of the output, they resulted in a major financial losses. No? Customers are ultimately responsible for defining quality. Important quality concept include satisfying stated or implied stakeholder needs, conforming to requirements and delivering items that are fit for use. So again, there are many tools and techniques related to project quality management. Take note, you need to study this one. No? The 7 basic tools of quality include cause and effect diagrams, control charts, run charts, scatter diagram, histogram, Pareto charts, and flow chart. Statistical sampling helps define a realistic number of items to include analyzing a population. Then, Six Sigma helps companies improve quality by reducing effects or defects. Standard deviation measures the variation in data. Testing is very important in developing and delivering high-quality IT products. So, there is much room for improvement, no, in IT project quality. Strong leadership help emphasize the importance of quality. Understanding the cost of quality provides an incentive for its improvement. Providing a good workplace can improve quality and productivity. Understanding stakeholder expectation and cultural differences are also related to project quality management. Developing and following maturity models can help organizations systematically improve their product management processes to increase the quality and success rate of project. Again, there are several types of software available to assist in project quality management. It is important for project teams to decide which software will be most helpful for their particular project. Okay? So, thank you, and that this will be the coverage of our project quality management. I as my as what I mentioned earlier, no, better for you to understand the seven basic tools, no? You need to have an additional study because right after your graduation, for example, no, and you luckily got hired, for example, in Accenture, no, or in IBM, no, in Microsoft, no, there are certain cases, especially when it comes to quality control, you hire as a software engineer, for example, no? You need to understand better, no? As what I mentioned, the Six Sigma, no? It's also important. The scatter diagrams, the histograms, no? The statistical sampling is also considered. And you need to understand on how you'll be able to apply the maturity model integrations, no? And another thing that we need to understand, of course, is the different testing, no? Because as I mentioned, no, there are certain cases that you will be the one who assigned for acceptance user testing and so on. Okay, so that's it. And thank you once again, everyone.